Welcome back. The UAE's financial markets are closed today. Trading will resume on Sunday. So let's now take a look at various currencies, followed by the price of oil and commodities. The Greek government and opposition parties have failed to find a consensus on further austerity measures, according to a source, in spite of EU policymakers urging broad political support. The IMF has warned Greece will need a decade to overcome its debt crisis. Opposers say the measures Greece agreed to in return for its €110 billion EU IMF bailout are stifling the economy. EU policymakers have warned that Greece needs broad political backing for its cuts in order to get the fifth €12 billion instalment of its bailout. And financial markets were spooked by comments that the IMF could withhold the next aid instalment. Analysts still expect some kind of restructuring of Greece's debt and say the debt markets think the comments were designed to put pressure on Greece to find a consensus. However, late on Friday, it seemed that no such agreement was struck. More business cooperation between China and South Africa is needed, according to Chinese top legislator Wu Bangwu. Addressing Chinese and South African business communities at a banquet, Wu said the tie not only serves the fundamental interests of the two countries, but also helps strengthen solidarity and cooperation among all developing countries. Wu called for increasing cooperation in investment, which he said is a far cry as compared with the rapid expansion of the bilateral trade. Last year, the bilateral trade volume was $25.7 billion. China is now South Africa's largest trading partner and export market, and South Africa is China's largest trading partner in Africa. However, the cooperation in investment has lagged. A top Ukrainian energy official has said that Ukraine would increase the volume of its own gas extraction in an attempt to reduce its dependence on Russian gas imports. So far, Ukraine covers 1/3 of its needs by its own production and gets the rest from Russia. Ukrainian state gas company Naftogaz plans to invest $300 million in domestic gas extraction in the next 2 years and thus increase domestic gas extraction by 1.2 billion cubic meters. Ukraine has been trying for months to renegotiate a 2009 gas deal with Russia, saying the price is unreasonably high. Moscow has so far been unwilling to review the agreement. Under the current deal, the price of Russian gas is linked to the prices of oil and oil products, which have soared in recent months. And finally, the Dow and S&P 500 closed out their fourth week of losses with a small gain on Friday, but only with the help of a weaker dollar boosting metal prices and basic material stocks. Thin trading made for a lackluster day on Wall Street, and volume was the second highest so far this week. For the week, the Dow lost 0.56%, the S&P shed 0.16%, and the Nasdaq dropped 0.23%. It was the fourth straight week of losses for both the Dow and the S&P 500. For the Nasdaq, it was the third decline in the last 4 weeks. About 5.44 billion shares were traded on the New York Stock Exchange, Amex, and Nasdaq. After the break, we take a look at the day's sports news, so stay with us.